Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm doing another top 10. We're going forward in time rather than back, because we were talking about films of the '60s and said we were going '80s, '70s, '60s. Now we're gonna go zoom into the front. And we're talking about the 2000s. Um, my mom said, "What about 2000s films? Like, what's your favorite film from every year of 2000, the 2000s?" And I was like, wow, like you're an asshole. Two, 2000 through 2009. What's your favorite film of each film? I said, look, mom, I did one better. I took every my favorite film from every year, and then I put them in a list from my favorite to least favorite of every year, which is actually kind of fun. So technically speaking, these are my top 10 films of the 2000s as well. So number 10 is from 2005. It's Waiting, the comedy with Ryan Reynolds and other people. Um, I don't know. It's funny. I like it a lot. We'll talk about it eventually, but really funny film. I have a lot of fun memories with it. Um, 2007, number 9 is Juno. Elliot Page did amazing in this film. So did Michael Cera. So did fucking everybody involved with this film. Um, very, it's just like of its time. Like so, just it's such a great film. Juno always made me smile. It was funny. It was heartfelt. It's just that time period too, like super bad and all that shit. Um, 2001 is Memento. I talked a little bit about Memento. We will review it eventually if we already haven't. I can't remember. Ironically enough, um, really blew my mind when I first saw it. It was like Christopher Nolan's amazing. Speaking of, 2008 is The Dark Knight. Um, so 10, 9, 8. We're on number 7. The Dark Knight. Um, Funny story about The Dark Knight. I can tell. I'll probably repeat it whenever I review The Dark Knight. If I don't think I have. Can't remember. I can't remember. My brother and I didn't want to see Batman Begins. When they had Batman Begins on screen, the trailer and all that, and it was the darker, more grittier, and me and my brother were like, who cares? How many times are you going to tell this damn story? Who gives a shit? Just so cynical. Just cynical teenage assholes. Just so. 2008. Let's go to the movies, my mom said. And it's like, sure, yeah. And what do we want to see? And my brother went, The Dark Knight. And we were like, whoa. And he's like, I heard it was the most amazing film in school. Everyone's been talking about it. We gotta see it. I was like, okay, chill out. We saw it. Jaws on the floor. The best in the Dark Knight trilogy by far. Some people argue Batman Begins is better. You can't beat Heath Ledger's Joker performance. There's so much more to that film to love than just that, but that's such a screen stealing performance. Like, holy shit. Batman Begins is really good too. The Dark Knight Rises is the weakest one. Um, but yeah, it was that's we were like blown away. It was like we're gonna have to listen to you from now on because he did it like a year or two before with 300, and he was like everyone's been saying this. We gotta see it. So we saw that and we're like, whoa, 300 is awesome. Um, we are on number 6 now. Yeah, number 6 is 2002. Is Spirited Away, my favorite Studio Ghibli film. That kind of gave away whenever I do my Studio Ghibli ranking. But I don't know. Who knows? I haven't seen all the films, so maybe something beats Spirited Away eventually. But for now, beautiful film, amazing, gorgeous, wonderful, everything right about Studio Ghibli. It's so good. Upon revisiting My Neighbor Totoro, and there was another one too, Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind. I do love those films a lot more now. When I first watched them, I was like, man, these are boring. This is what was exciting, really. And then rewatching them, I was like, no, these are actually very, very beautiful. Like, it warms your soul. Um, Number five is 2004's Kung Fu Hustle. We just talked about this like what, a week ago. Go watch that review to see my full thoughts on it. It's one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. So, um, yeah. Number four is 2009, World's Greatest Dad. I can't wait to talk about this film more at length. I'm not going to say anything right now about it. It's in my top 10 favorite films of all time, I believe. Number three is 2003's Love Actually, in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I think it's technically my favorite Christmas movie. Um, Two, we did the Christmas ranking. Um, yeah, I actually love this film. We'll talk more about that eventually. Um, Number two is 2006's The Departed, also in my top 10 list. Best remake of all time. A remake of Infernal Affairs. We will talk about both whenever I get to it. Yeah, I love The Departed. Number one, 2000's Dance in the Dark. Again, I'll talk more at length about this one. I know it's kind of a boring video, but that's my list of my 2000s films. Waiting, Juno, Memento, The Dark Knight, Spirited Away, Kung Fu Hustle, World's Greatest Dad, Love Actually, The Departed, Dance in the Dark. I love how it's all over the place. 2005, 2007, 2001, 2008, 2002, 2004, 2009, 2003, 2006, 2000. Pretty awesome. I'm kind of proud of this list. If I was doing a list of all the 2000s films, I like, oh man, this is really hard. It's not really actually, because you're looking from every year. Like, it's kind of like what I did with the 80s too. Like, if I was doing 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, what I mean, 80 through 89. That's kind of what I did here, but some of the films are just better in those years, I guess. But this makes a lot of sense to me. Like, these are the top 10 films of the 2000s. I don't know. I'm kind of psyching myself out now, but whatever. Because I could do. Yeah, this probably isn't the most accurate, because if I look through more films in the 2000s, there's probably a lot more actually. Whatever. This is 2000. My favorite films of the 2000s ranked. So, do with that with what you will. I still have to do 90s and 50s, 40s. I don't even know how I'm going to do those ones. Oh my God. You guys have a good one. Take care.